Hello, my name is Nick Chaudhry. The date's February 24th, 2010, and today I'll be presenting on marijuana and its trafficking. And just a note, this presentation is split into different parts just for editing reasons. And I'm doing my presentation at different times, so yeah. Hello, my name is Nick Chaudhry. The date's February 24th, 2010, and today I'll be presenting on marijuana and its trafficking. So, as you can see on the screen, this is a picture of marijuana, and marijuana is a dry, shredded green and brown mix of flowers derived from the hemp plant. And the most common ingredient within marijuana is THC. THC is the thing that produces the high feeling that people get from marijuana, and it comes in different potencies to produce different effects. Marijuana is consumed by smoking, eating, and drinking. When marijuana is smoked, it's usually smoked within a joint or a pipe. When it's eaten in various things, in some cases brownies, and it changes from the way it's eaten. And it's drunk in the form of tea. Overdoses for marijuana usually occur only within eating and drinking marijuana because it's easier to consume in large doses. There are various side effects to marijuana, and some of the side effects that affect most people are trouble remembering things, sleepiness, anxiety, paranoia, and altered time perception. And these contribute to the high feeling that the marijuana users feel. Along with that, the feeling that most marijuana users usually come by are dry mouth, nausea, headache, tremor, decreased coordination, increased heart rate, altered body temperature, reduced muscle strength, along with increased food consumption. Some of the neuropsychiatric effects of marijuana are that mainly affect people with brain disorders are anxiety and panic, paranoia, confusion, aggressiveness, hallucination, sedation, depersonalization, poor sense of time, worsened short-term memory, addictive behavior, and amotivational syndrome. Marijuana isn't normally seen to be addictive. 10% of the population that uses marijuana experience addictive effects. Long-term marijuana use can lead to addiction, and if it's used too commonly, a person may form a reliance on it. Along with that, the effects of marijuana usually last up to a week, but the noticeable effects tend to be for a day or two. Marijuana has not been seen to cause death within people. There are about 75 people a year found high when they die, and as shown by this chart, marijuana, this is within the US. I could not find a chart that had worldwide statistics, but this can be applied to a worldwide basis. So, as you can see, tobacco is the highest cause of death, and the chart just keeps going down until it hits marijuana with zero deaths caused directly by the drug. Um, there has been no proof of marijuana actually causing the death ever in a worldwide basis, even though that these stats are based on a U.S. study. Moving on to marijuana trafficking, Mexico is the number one producer of marijuana worldwide, and they had a low amount of marijuana production between 2000 and 2002 due to a drought, but since then they've had high amounts of marijuana production, and transferred to the U.S. via mainly criminal groups through large cargo trucks, and there's some other methods. The number two producer of marijuana is Paraguay, and they produce 5,900 metric tons of marijuana per year, and 10,000 tons of 10,000 metric tons of marijuana is produced in South America, and over half of it is from Paraguay. The people that grow the marijuana are never caught by the government of Paraguay. The people that are caught are the people who sell it, but never the people who produce it. When the location of marijuana is being planted is discovered, by the time the authorities show up, the area is already abandoned. Each attempt to eradicate marijuana cost about $25,000, and most of them end up being unsuccessful because these criminal groups producing the marijuana are they know they have resources in order to prevent being captured and to destroy their industry. And marijuana from Paraguay is in high demand because it's in very high potencies, which people want. And Paraguayan soil can produce 600 pounds of marijuana per hectare, and can support multiple harvests in 1 year. And most of the seizures throughout South America trace origin to the marijuana in Paraguay. The last major producer, but their former producer, was Colombia, and they used to be one of the biggest producers of marijuana, but now they have moved into the cocaine industry because it's been getting them more money. And uh, in terms of seizures of marijuana, in 2008, the majority of seizures were from Brazil, and 167 metric tons of marijuana were seized from there. The second most amount was Bolivia, and that was 125 metric tons. The country that received the third amount of marijuana that was taken was Colombia with 110,000 metric tons seized. The final country was then Argentina with 67 metric tons, and finally Paraguay with 59 metric tons seized. And Paraguay is the number one producer, which means a lot of their marijuana is getting out of the country. And most of the seized marijuana is from South American countries was traced back to Paraguay. And outside of the Americas, Africa is a huge producer of marijuana, but doesn't compare to the South American producers. South Africa produces about 2,500 metric tons of marijuana per year. This is part two of the marijuana trafficking section, and I'll start out by discussing penalties for marijuana trafficking. Let's make this a little bigger. Okay, so for trafficking 1,000 kilograms or more of marijuana, a person could go for from 10 years to life, a sentence in prison, and if death or serious injury is caused, it's 20 years to life, and the fine can be up to 10 million for this. And for a second offense, it could be from 20 years to life, and if there's a serious death or injury involved, then life, and the penalty could be $8 million to $20 million. Okay. Now for transport of 100 kilograms to 999 kilograms, it could be from 5 years to 40-year sentence, and if death is involved, it will be from 20 years to life, and the fine can be from 2 million to 5 million if involved in this. And for a second offense, it can be from 10 years to life, and if death is involved, then it is life, and 4 million to $10 million can be in fines. And that's about it in terms of marijuana trafficking on the large